Hi friends, welcome to TalentSprint. With SSC CGL notification having been released, I'm sure most of you are geared up to apply and make sure that you qualify for this exam. Now, while the online application process date has started on 16th May, the last date to complete your online application form falls on 16th June before 5 p.m. I'm sure some of you have already started the application process, but for those of you who have not yet started, well, this is the time for you to get started, and I'm here to assist you with a step-by-step procedure of how to apply. Now, first things first, before we kickstart the application process, there are some things that you need to keep ready and handy. Okay. Number one, a scanned copy of your photograph and your signature. Please note that your photograph can be anywhere between 4 to 20 KB in size, and your signature can be anywhere between 1 to 12 KB in size. Please adhere to these specifications, otherwise you will find difficulty in uploading both the signature and the photograph. And note, applications with illegible signature or blurred photographs will be rejected. Number two, your secondary school board exam roll number. Now, this is available in your 10th admit card, 10th standard roll number. Okay. For CBSE students, it's a 7-digit number. For state board students, it's a 6-digit number. So, please keep this also ready. Number three, you need to decide which group your post falls under. Now, if you have gone through the notification carefully, there are certain posts that fall under Group A, Group B, Group C and Group D. For example, Assistant Audit Officer falls under Group A. Junior Statistical Officer falls under Group C. So, please make sure you decide the group of posts that your specific post that you are applying for falls under. Now, how do you know which post you qualify for? The educational qualification for each post is also mentioned very clearly in the notification. For example, if you are applying for Junior Statistical Officer post, now for that post, a bachelor's degree in any subject from a recognized university with a 60% minimum in mathematics in 12th standard, or a bachelor's degree in any subject with statistics as one of the subject is the requirement. So, based on the qualification and or based on the post, if you are interested, just make sure you qualify for that particular post and note the group it falls under, whether it's Group A, Group B, Group C or Group D. Now, the application fee is only 100 rupees, but women candidates and candidates falling under SC, ST, physically handicapped, ex-servicemen who are eligible for reservation are exempted from paying the fees as per government orders. So, once you have all of the information that I have just mentioned ready, you are good to get started. So, all you need to do is log on to www.ssconline.nic.in. Let's do that. So, as soon as you type in ssconline.nic.in, this is a page that will come up. If you look at the first category, recruitment for combined graduate level examination, you can make sure you are applying for the correct post, right? Application start date, it says here 16/5/2017, and application end date 16/6/2017 up to 5 p.m. This is the one that we are applying for. So, let's click on click to apply. As soon as you click that, this is the page that will pop up. Now, if you look at the extreme left, it says registration part, new registration. That's where you're going to click register on. But before we do that, let's quickly look at the middle segment and the final segment also. So, there are some instructions given to the candidates, right? You have the application begin date, the application end date, and then you have an offline challan generation end date, payment through SBI challan. So, the candidates submitting their applications online, right, are required to pay the requisite fee only through State Bank of India, either in the form of a challan or through SBI net banking or any credit or debit card option. Now, there is a provision for the challan to be generated online. If you come down here, it says download offline challan, right? Now, but to pay fee in cash, the candidate can take a printout of the challan generated online after submission of his or her online application form, and then you deposit the required fee in any branch of State Bank of India. But if you choose to pay online through SBI net banking, credit or debit card, then you can go directly to the link which says make payment, right, and pay the requisite fees. And of course, those who are exempted from payment of fee can skip all of these steps. Okay. Now, the examination notice is nothing but the notification itself. So, those of you who haven't gone through the notification and want to make sure you're selecting the right post and that you qualify for that post, please go through it carefully. And how to apply is what I'm going to take you through. Now, the last segment, this is after you've completed the application process. If you want to take a printout of the application form, all of this, you will have an option to do that. You will also be given a registration number and a password which will be generated after probably 2 segments into the application process. I will take you through that, but let's get started with the process itself. So, you come back to the extreme left hand side and click on register. So, as soon as you click on register, right, it's asking you for your name, it will ask you to verify your name, whatever details you enter, the next tab will be verification of the same detail, right. And please note, all the fields marked with this asterisk symbol is mandatory. Okay, so let's get started. So, it says here, please type in the name as recorded in the secondary examination certificate, your 10th standard certificate, right. Do not use Mr., Miss, Mrs. or Shri, etc. So, as it is available in your 10th standard certificate, put down your name. Okay, verify the same name. And if you notice, whether you use capitals or not, it automatically takes up only capital letters. And then you feed in your exam roll number. Whether it's a 6 digit or a 7 digit accordingly. Verify the same. Feed in your date of birth. Verify it. Select your gender and then you enter the text as shown in the box. Make a note of caps, or if it's in small letters, differentiate between numbers and letters, especially 1 and L seems almost the same. So, just keep all that in mind and enter. So, it says here, please check your details. You cannot change these particular fields in future. Do you want to submit? So, make sure whatever information that you fed in, especially your roll number, is accurate, and click OK once you are sure. So, as soon as you click, whatever information that you have fed in will appear here. Other information that it is requesting, keep a note of the asterisk symbol and just feed in the mandatory fields. If there is any, so once we've completed the initial personal details part, then it asks you for the basic details. So, if there's any visible identification mark, please mention it. If not, you can leave it, it's optional. Select your category, and once you try to select this, this is the box which will pop up asking you. The pop-up box that will pop up will state, be very careful while selecting your category. You have chosen general, okay, right. If you belong to a religious minority community, say yes, if not, no. Select your nationality, move on. If person with disability, no. As soon as you click this, the remaining 2 fields will be invalid. You move forward and then it asks for your contact details. So, feed in your permanent address. Don't worry about the directions to the extreme right. It says use capital letters. You don't have an option there. So, just type in your address. Don't feed in any comma or full stop in the address field. Just leave space to differentiate each line. the next, after you've done with your permanent address, state and PIN code, the STD code is not a mandatory field, so you can skip that. Feed in your mobile number, confirm your mobile number, feed in your email ID, make sure it's a valid email ID. Once you've done this, enter the text that you see. And you can submit. So again, make sure before you submit that all the information that you have selected is accurate. It asks you again, do you want to submit the registration form? Click OK. So as soon as you get to this page, you see that on top you have a registration number and a password given. So you can go ahead and make a note of that. Okay, so make a note of your registration number, because afterwards, if you are not planning to complete the application process in one go, you can use this to log in to complete your application process at a later point of time too. So this stage is where you upload your photograph and your signature. As I had mentioned, just make sure you've kept it in a place where you can access it, right, on the desktop or documents, wherever it is. Just make sure it adheres to the specifications that I had mentioned earlier. Choose the file from wherever it is. So as soon as you upload the photo, you will get a thing saying photo is successfully uploaded. Click on OK. And the next one is your signature. Signature is successfully uploaded. OK. Right. So once you've done both of this, so it says your photograph or signature is not clear. You can change your photograph and or signature by choosing another file before clicking on next. Okay. So for some reason, if you feel it is unclear, it is illegible, please do that now itself before you click next. If you are sure and positive that it has gone through, and if you feel it's legible and the photo is clear, click on next. It says registration completed. You can click on OK. Right. So once you've completed that process, right, there is a second part to it. So because we still have to select the posts, right, remember the group of posts, so it's not yet, you're not done. So that's just the basic details and the contact details. So use your registration number that you've made a note of. Enter the text and submit. Okay, so the next part is where you're going to select the examination center, code, all of those details. Now the first thing it says here is whatever information that you've already given will again appear here. We are only going to focus on the fields which require your information. The first one, name of examination center and code. So you have three options. Go by what should be your first preference. Right, and then choose a second preference and a third preference as well. Okay, make sure these are obviously different. The next category that requires you to feed in information is number 10, whether ex-servicemen. Select accordingly. So everything else pertaining to that will be invalid, so move on. The next thing that you will have to feed in information is number 12, whether seeking age relaxation. So accordingly you feed that in. Now the 13th one, it says preference for group of posts, right? So like I said, if you are applying for statistical, a junior statistical officer, it will be group C, right? If you are applying for, let's say, assistant audit officer, right, it will be group A. So accordingly, based on the posts, select the preference for group of posts. If you have more than one post that you're applying for, select in order of preference, right? So it says here, are you applying for the post of junior statistical officer number 14? Yes. Do you possess EQ, educational qualification for the post of junior statistical officer? Yes, right? Obviously, if you've selected that, you are already aware that you qualify for that. So, are you applying for the post of assistant audit officer, right? If that is the case, then go ahead and select accordingly. If you belong to minority communities as per government orders, it already says no. 16th one, if you have any disability, mention that. If not, move forward. So feed in the educational qualification accordingly. And then 19th one says, do you want to make available your personal information for the accessing job opportunity in terms of all of this mentioned here? If not, just select no. If you have any work experience, mention that, the organization's name, what designation, the nature of the duty and the period from which you were working there. The next part is the communication details form. Feed in your postal address. Right, so after you've done with the communication details, come forward. Already your photo and your signature is there. Let's read the declaration. I hereby declare that all the statements made in this application are true, complete and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. I understand that in the event of any information being found false or incorrect at any stage or not satisfying the eligibility criteria according to the requirements of the relative advertisement, my candidature appointment is liable to be cancelled or terminated. I am willing to serve anywhere in India. So, click on I agree and feed in what appears in the text box, right, and then click on final submit. Now don't be in a hurry to click on final submit, right? If you are not sure, if you want to be positive that all the information that you've entered is accurate, you can always take time and verify, but I would suggest it is better to have all the information prior handy and then start the application process so you can finish it off in one go, right? If you're confident of the information that you've provided, please click on final submit. So it says your application is provisionally submitted. Please go to apply print on the main page to download your application form and you can click on OK. Okay, so once you've done with this, now you have a couple of options, right? You can print the application form. You can also check your application status by clicking here. I would advise you to do this 48 hours after you've completed you've submitted your application, but you can definitely take a printout of your application form right away. So click on print, again feed in your registration number and the password and enter the text as you see it. Don't worry about the space there, just type in as it is and submit. So as soon as you submit, you will get your application form, right? Yeah, you can take a printout of this and keep it handy. Keep it with you, you don't have to send it anywhere, right? Okay, so once you've done with that, if you choose to make your payment, you can make your payment. Again, feed in the registration number. So accordingly, if you're a fee exempted candidate, if you're a women candidate or you fall under SC, ST, physically handicapped or ex-servicemen, you don't have to pay. This is what will appear. Otherwise, it will take you to the option where you can make the payment either via online payment, debit or credit card option. After you've done that, you can go and print your application form. So that's all there was to it. So pretty simple procedure, just make sure you have the relevant documents. The only thing that can get frustrating is the signature and the photograph not getting uploaded because it's not adhering to the specifications, right? Sometimes you might have trouble. Just make sure the format is a JPEG format. Otherwise also you will have trouble. Paste it in Paint and then save that image in JPEG and then try and upload it. You shouldn't have a problem uploading the photograph, right? Other than that, make sure you have your secondary board roll number handy and ensure that you're very clear about the posts that you're applying for and which group it falls under. So specify the group in order of preference. So once you've completed the application process and made your fee payment, you can take a printout of your application form. Alright, so we from TalentSprint want to wish each and every one of you who are appearing for this exam all the very best, and as always, to help you with your preparation, you will have access to some interesting videos pertaining to SSC CGL exam. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay focused. Apply now.